Welcome back to Reality Reflections. Today's topic is one that many of us face but rarely talk about: starting over. Whether it's after a career shift, a breakup, or a major life setback, starting over can feel intimidating, overwhelming, and isolating. But beneath those initial fears, there are truths and lessons that few people ever share. In this video, we'll uncover what nobody tells you about the journey of starting fresh, and how to navigate it with courage and hope. Let's dive in. One of the hardest things about starting over is the feeling of losing control. We're stepping outside of the familiar, the comfortable, the known. It's like stepping off a cliff without knowing if there's a parachute or even solid ground below. This is where fear, uncertainty, and doubt like to set up camp. Our brains, wired for survival, will tell us to scramble back to what we know, even if what we knew wasn't working. But here's the thing: letting go of control is often the bravest, most powerful thing we can do. Think about it. When we cling to control, we're essentially clinging to the past. We're saying that we know better than the natural flow of life, that we can somehow outsmart change and growth. But the truth is, life is going to unfold, whether we're micromanaging it or not. Starting over asks us to lean into the uncertainty, to get comfortable with not having all the answers. It's about embracing the unknown, trusting that even if we stumble, we have the resilience to get back up. This is where the real magic happens, in that space between letting go and landing somewhere new. It's where we discover our strength, our creativity, our capacity for reinvention. So if you're feeling that sense of vertigo, that fear of the unknown, know that you're not alone. It's a natural part of the process. In fact, it's a sign that you're on the right track, that you're choosing courage over comfort. Embrace the uncertainty. Recognize that feeling out of control is part of the process. It's actually the beginning of creating something new. Starting over often means letting go of old identities, the ones that no longer serve us, the ones that we've outgrown. This can feel like saying goodbye to a part of ourselves, even if that part no longer reflects who we are. We might have identified as the successful professional, the perfect partner, the reliable friend, and when those roles shift, it can feel like we're losing pieces of ourselves. The truth is, we're not losing ourselves, we're making room for a more authentic version to emerge. We're shedding layers that no longer fit, beliefs that limit us, expectations that hold us back. It's like clearing out a garden, making space for new growth, for something stronger and more vibrant to take root. This process of letting go can be uncomfortable. It might even feel like grief. We might question who we are without these old identities, what our value is if we're not fulfilling those roles. But this is where we have to dig deep, connect with our own values, and remember that our worth is not defined by external factors. It comes from within. Remember, we are constantly evolving. Every experience, every challenge, every relationship shapes us. To cling to old identities is to deny ourselves the opportunity to become who we're meant to be. Allow yourself to evolve. Embrace the idea that letting go of old identities makes space for new ones that better reflect who you are becoming. Let's talk about failure, that dreaded F word that can send shivers down our spines. When we're starting over, it's easy to feel like we're failing, like we're somehow back at the starting line after we've already run the race. We might compare ourselves to others, wondering why they seem to have it all figured out, while we're still fumbling in the dark. But here's the thing: failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of the journey. It's the messy, imperfect, often humbling path to growth. Think about it. We learn to walk by falling down, to talk by mispronouncing words, to love by getting our hearts broken. Each stumble, each misstep, is an opportunity to learn, to adapt, to become more resilient. When we reframe our relationship with failure, we open ourselves up to a world of possibility. We stop being afraid to try new things, to take risks, to put ourselves out there, even if it means we might not get it right the first time. We start to see setbacks not as defeats, but as detours, as opportunities to course correct and find a better way forward. Redefine your relationship with failure. Understand that feeling like a beginner is part of the journey and a sign of growth, not defeat. In a world that often glorifies hustle and instant gratification, starting over can feel like an uphill battle against the clock. We're bombarded with messages that tell us to go big or go home, to make it happen now, to never slow down or show weakness. But here's the truth. Starting over is a deeply personal journey, and it unfolds at its own pace. There's no right or wrong timeline, no magic formula for how long it should take to rebuild, to heal, to rediscover who we are. Trying to rush the process to force ourselves into a predetermined timeline will only lead to frustration and self-doubt. It's like trying to force a flower to bloom before it's ready. We need to give ourselves the same grace and patience we would give a loved one going through a similar experience. Starting over is not a race, it's a marathon, a journey of self-discovery and reinvention. Some days we'll sprint forward, filled with energy and purpose. Other days we'll need to slow down, to rest, to tend to our wounds, to simply breathe. And that's okay. In fact, it's essential. Give yourself permission to take things one step at a time, to celebrate small victories, to honor the natural ebb and flow of your own unique process. Remember, you're not behind. You're right where you need to be. Give yourself grace. Starting over isn't a race, it's a personal journey that unfolds in its own time. Take small steps and don't rush the process. You'll discover strengths you didn't know you had. One of the most incredible things about starting over is the way it reveals our hidden strengths. When we're stripped of our familiar routines, our comfort zones, our old identities, we're forced to dig deep and tap into reserves of strength and resilience we didn't even know we had. Think about it. We often discover our greatest strengths in the face of adversity. It's in those moments of uncertainty, of having to navigate uncharted territory, that we realize just how capable we truly are. We learn to adapt, to problem solve, to find creative solutions to unexpected challenges. We develop a new level of self-reliance, a deep-seated knowing that we can handle whatever life throws our way. This isn't to say that starting over is easy, or that we won't face moments of doubt or fear, but it's in those moments that we discover the incredible power of the human spirit, our innate ability to rise above challenges and emerge stronger on the other side. Remember, you are stronger than you think, you are more resilient than you realize, and you are capable of far more than you can possibly imagine. Lean into your newfound strengths. The journey of starting over will show you just how capable you are, even in the face of unknowns. The people in your life might change. As we embark on a journey of starting over, we might find that the people in our lives change as well. Some relationships might deepen, becoming sources of unwavering support and encouragement. Others might drift apart, and that's okay. It's a natural part of growth and evolution. Think about it. We're constantly changing, evolving, becoming new versions of ourselves. And sometimes those changes mean that our paths diverge from those we once walked alongside. It doesn't mean there's any blame or resentment, just a recognition that our journeys are taking us in different directions. This can be a difficult realization, especially if we're already feeling vulnerable and uncertain. We might feel a sense of loss, a fear of being alone, a longing for the comfort of familiar faces. But it's important to remember that holding on to relationships that no longer serve us, that no longer align with who we're becoming, can actually hinder our growth. Starting over gives us the opportunity to create space for new connections, for relationships that reflect our evolving values, dreams, and aspirations. It's a chance to surround ourselves with people who celebrate our growth, who support our journey, who see our potential even when we doubt ourselves. Embrace new relationships. Understand that as you grow, your circle may change, and that's okay. Surround yourself with people who support your journey. It's the start of rediscovering who you are. Starting over, at its core, is an invitation to rediscover who we are, to reconnect with our authentic selves, to create a life that reflects our deepest values, dreams, and aspirations. It's a chance to shed the layers of expectations, societal pressures, and limiting beliefs that have kept us playing small. This is a journey of self-discovery, of peeling back the layers to reveal the truest, most courageous version of ourselves. It's about asking ourselves those big, scary, exhilarating questions. What do I really want? What brings me joy? What kind of legacy do I want to leave behind? The answers might surprise us. They might lead us down paths we never imagined, introduce us to passions we didn't know we had, connect us with people who inspire us to dream bigger. This is the beauty of starting over. It's a blank canvas, an opportunity to paint our lives with bold strokes, to embrace the unknown with open arms, to create a masterpiece that reflects the unique, beautiful, and ever-evolving individuals we are. Remember, you are not defined by your past, by your mistakes, by the labels others have placed upon you. You are a work in progress, a masterpiece in the making. Embrace this chance to connect deeply with your values, dreams, and aspirations. Starting over is a journey back to yourself. The courage to begin again. Starting over can be daunting, but it's also a chance to rebuild in a way that's authentic and fulfilling. Remember, it's okay to feel uncertain, to move at your own pace, and to let go of parts of your past. Thank you for watching. If this video gave you hope or clarity, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs it. Here's to fresh starts, new beginnings, and the courage to create a life that truly reflects who you are. See you in the next video.